Daisy. Hello, 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 hello. Are you all right? Yes, welcome to the live show. This is a special, the day before our Carrot Challenge reveal. Been chatting with Steve, and we're going to play the video, the two videos tomorrow. Now, I haven't seen Steve's video, and he hasn't seen my video, thank God. But I thought today was, I wanted actually to do this yesterday because it'd been the 21st of December, the longest day. Today is a day shorter. So we're all here kind of, to kind of, for me anyways, to celebrate the lights. The nights are getting lighter as well. And we've got this challenge going on, the end of the Carrot Challenge as well. So come on, say hello. Hello, Kat. Nice to see you there, lass. Hello. Hello, Yoni. How are you, Cat, man? Get your spell checker sorted out, man. So, yes, everyone's come and say hello. Hello, Skippy there, sir. Nice to see you got your chili as well. Cheers, everybody. What we drinking? Let us know what we're drinking there in the house. This is a little cheeky little white there. Actually, it's a rosé. There's a lot of ice. Because, yeah, I know it's a school night, but it's not a school night for me. It's a holiday night because I've got today off and tomorrow off. Then I'm in for 5 days. Bloody 5 days. Well, that's how we do it. 5 days over Christmas. Then I'm off 5 days over New Year. And then next year I'll be off 5 days over Christmas. And then in 5 days over New Year. So we jump out of our normal rota pattern for that. So, yes, hello. Let's come and see. Hello, Karen. How are you doing? Terry? Vimto for me, as per, good lad. What's happening there? Pippa, hello Pippa, how are you doing? You're on the red wine, lass. Good lass. Hi, Stephen. How you doing? Jade, hello, hello. I'm on the rum, Jade. Oh, lovely, lovely. Strawberry lights. Chris, strawberry lights. Are you on about? It does actually look like a strawberry, doesn't it? I had it set up before. I mean, that was a last minute thing, and I had it like that, and it just looked like a schoolboy prank, as you know what I mean. Where, so I had to take them off. So, hello, Claire, Sarah, Rob from Leicester. How we doing, Rob? Sir Lewis. Lewis, it's the first camera I ever bought. To be honest, when I started doing the camera work and all that, and I've got this muckle lens on that cost more than my car, and I found it's no good for the garden. GoPro's the one, so I'm always going to start using it in here. So that's what, and it's all the lighting as well. It's all the lighting as well. So yeah, so don't forget, you can ask me a question, any question, and fingers crossed, we're going to try and get Steve on as well. Hello, Anita. How are you doing, lass? We're going to try and get Steve on for a little bit chat. So you can, if you want to ask Steve a question. Now, I think there'll be more people asking Steve a question than me because he knows a bloody damn sight more. So we'll see. I'm going to try and bring Steve on a little bit, 5 minutes or something. We'll let everyone get in the house and tell us what's happening. So, hello, Star Dawn. How are you doing? What you got into your gardening? What got you into gardening? The mind, Star Dawn, the mind. It's just like, it's good therapy for me, to be honest. It keeps us like occupied. It keeps us. I don't like my mind to become static and stale and stagnant. So that, and like I say, we've had that garden for years, to be quite honest. And my mum's always been like a good plants woman. So that's what's Terry saying there? What's Terry saying? Is that via Zoom or Skype? Terry, it's via Ecamm Live. It works with the Mac. I kind of using Ecamm Live if anybody's got and it's fab because you can do loads of stuff with it, to be quite honest. I've got listen, this is what's been happening for the last few days. Rain. Oh, and we might even have a little bit of snow there coming. So it's bloody freezing, mind you. There was ice on the car this morning when I finished work. Just thick ice, and I didn't have anything to bloody scrape it down with. I had to use, actually, I've got on Starship Sofa, the podcast that I do. I work with loads of people, and we put together actually still alive. Robert Silverberg's a science fiction writer. I bought one of his novels that came out that I actually forgot about. To be honest, he wrote that many. He writes like the wind in the 50s and 60s. He wrote this story, and I bought it off him, and I got it produced and made into an audio CD, and it's actually in Audible now as well. So I had to use the physical copy of that. You know what I mean? This is like one of the legends of, it's like really precious to us, but I had to use that to scrape the bloody ice off the car. So, how are we doing then? Mild in Devon, is it there, Stu, lad? Okay, Tony, worst and best results. Oh, well, the best one and the worst one, it's come up bloody yellow there now, is I lost all them Calabrese. But the best one is that actually some new ones are coming through, so I'm quite really chuffed to bits. It looks like, I was talking to one of the gardeners today that his cauliflowers as well is about 2 months early. They're all coming little and everything. Hello, Audrey. How are you doing, lass? Nice to see you. There's a little strawberry heart there for you, Audrey. Little place in my heart. Anyway, cheers. Nice to have you over. I tried to do a little bit later today because, hello, Ali, because I'm off tomorrow. So, and then, yes, a little rosé with a lot of ice. So, now I'm going to try and send Steve an email with a link on. So I'll just move this. So just please say hello and talk amongst yourselves. That will be fantastic. Right, copy that link. Now, if anybody wants to listen, don't be shy in it. If you can, or don't. I've done something, but somebody will have to actually cough up and use a super chat. I should have it if it's all set up work and something should bounce up. If someone was kind enough to send us a super chat. Right, eyes green side up now. Right, hang on there, Steve. I'll see if I can send you this email. One moment. Just now. Gonna send Stephen an email. Can everyone hear us okay, mind you? Make sure you just can hear us okay. That's the... I go quiet when I do a couple of jobs. I cannot... Right, 1 second, Steve. I'm going to send you this. Right. Oh, the address. Oh, I've sent it in the wrong. Put the wrong. Right. I had a burp there again. I've had my tea late. Right. So hopefully we'll get young Stephen on, the old fella. Get rid of Chrome because I can't see what's happening there. Right. Any potato reels come? You know what, Mrs. Bose? I've used all my potatoes, and it's only just last week as well. They all went. So that's it. I have got no more potatoes, to be honest. We're using bought ones, would you believe? Right. How many have I got in there? In the hoose, as they say. Oh, 126. Right. Right. Oh, the old boy's calling there. Right, now we guess he's in the green room there, so we can't... Oh, he's put his shirt on, has he? Right then, let's see if I can bring young Stephen in and we'll have a little kind of chat with Stephen. 1 second. Oh, how do I do this? Oh, he's bringing something, but what's he doing? Oh, wait, I wouldn't do that. How are you doing, lad? Are you all right?
That's fine.
There he is. There he is. So don't forget, if you want to, you can ask Stephen a question. He is the kind of... We have got the Grand Master in here. You know, I'm actually quite honoured and humbled that this fella's come in. Do you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean, once he kind of sees this Young Pretenders video tomorrow, I think you just have to hang your head in shame, Steve, and walk away.
Oh, well, I can live with it.
You'll be laughing your head off, mind you. So, I tell you what. Have you done your video then, Steve? Have you made your video?
No, I'm going to do it on the day we agreed, like we agreed yesterday. So I'm just going to stick to that, you know.
So it is coming out tomorrow, though, isn't it? We are putting them out tomorrow.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
Right. So you're hoping for this last 12 hours is going to make all the difference.
I'll tell you, I'm going to need my van to pull them out with, mate.
Well, I tell you what, you might need a van. I think it was tweezers for me. Man, honestly, just well, we'll see, because you, if I'm right in thinking, you still got 2 crops left, haven't you? You still got the Parisian ones and the Royal Chantenay, where I've only all my eggs are in one basket.
Oh,
have you had a little sneaky look or not? Or
well, let me see. I might have done.
Oh, I'm confident, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know what they're like, Tony. I've no idea.
Well, it's for me. I've tried a couple of times with a little bit of salad to kind of go through the winter. So this is all new, to be honest. And
right.
Even when I watch your videos now, Steve, I'm watching, like, you've got a load of stuff in there. Do you know what I mean? That's going through the winter. Are you going to keep that going all the time?
I'll try to. I've got more plants on the go, as you know. I mean, I'm continually sowing. I don't stop sowing. I'm going to be sowing tomorrow, and I just keep. See, the thing is, I'm not an expert gardener. I know you keep bulling me up and saying I'm the grandmaster, but I'm just an average grower, and I just keep trying. I don't stop. Oh, look at that! You've had a
There you
donation.
go. There you go. Hey, I was that excited. I forgot who sent it.
Joanne Fraser, I think it was.
Right, I didn't have my bloody glasses on. So you know
No,
what?
so I just keep sowing.
So you know when you keep showing, because I know you've got a kind of a way bigger plot than me and a kind of bigger, but I'll be running out of space to put them. Do you know what I mean? Because I seem not to have like a problem germinating, but it's more right. What am I going to do with them? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. If you're going to plant something, if you're going to sow something tomorrow, let's
Yeah.
say it'll be ready in what to go somewhere in a month's time, 2 months time, or
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, Tony, as you know yourself, like with Premier Seeds, you can go there and buy 4,000 cabbage seeds for £1.
uh-huh,
A little bit of compost, and if you don't use them, chuck them on the compost heap. You've
uh-huh.
not lost anything. If you get one cabbage out of them 4,000 seeds, you got your money back.
Well, I'm a frigging carrot, I tell you. So what else is happening in your garden? And let us what's going on there?
Well, today I've been sorting out my new pond. There's a new pond been going in. I've been filming that, so that's coming out just after Christmas. So that because I wanted to get it done before this cold weather hit, and I should have waited really until the cold weather because I've been slopping around in mud.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's been
That's
awful.
I noticed on your videos, mind you, that it's like, and it is up there. Do you know what I mean? The slightest bit of water, and it's just kind of turning all the kind of gunky stuff there. But
Oh, it's
it's
horrible.
I have you did I right in thinking if I'm remember is yours a bad drainage site? Is it?
Well, it's funny because I'm on my polytunnel. My big polytunnel was actually on the crest of a hill, and it my plot on both sides, front and back, sort of goes downhill and away. So it all drains, but of course at the bottom on both sides is it's like a marsh,
Uh huh.
and in extreme weather lakes form.
Well, I see when you were kind of putting out that black plastic. Whereabouts is that in your? You know, you were pulling out some black plastic there. Whereabouts is
Oh,
that in
that
conjunction with your? Everyone knows your site,
well, if you walk through the polytunnel front to back, that's
right?
at the back of the plot where I've put the black plastic, and it's on the right hand side, and that's where the new tunnel's going. Sometime after Christmas.
So are you going to do a like a 3 or 4 part series of putting it up, or?
10 or 11 part
I
series.
know, I know. Mind it is hard. You know what I mean? And it's not like hard work, but there's a lot of things you got to do to
You got
get.
to get them right as well. If you
Oh, I
if you
know.
don't get them right in the first step, then everything else follows on wrong. So it's
Uh-huh.
got to be on a level site for starters. Else your beds are on level, and then if your beds aren't level, the water all goes to one end when you water it. So you get a wet and dry situation. So you've got to be you've got to be you've got to be level for starters.
Is this going to be a bigger one than what you've got, or is this
Now, be the same length and narrower
right?
because it's two donated tunnels. Two people have given me two 20-foot tunnels over the last couple of years, and as I do with everything, anybody gives me any old rubbish, and I'll stick it in the shed. It got that bad that I took timber out of the shed to put a new shed up so I could store more stuff.
So why? Surely you can't need another polytunnel. There's only, I'm guessing, two of yous that are eating the food now at the
Yeah,
moment. So three, and they're a fair size. Your ones, you know, you even see your small ones. A small one,
yeah,
it ain't small. It's in huge. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So why do you need another one?
It's a hobby, Tony.
Aye.
It's a hobby. It's something to do. It's much the same as you. You go out there and you're out in the fresh air, and you're digging in the soil. You're smelling the compost. You're seeing the flowers. You're eating the veg, and and you you've got that spare time. So I mean, I've got plenty of spare time, so I'm utilizing it, and doing something I enjoy. So
Whatever.
that's it. And that little tunnel won't last forever.
It's just like I love looking because it's like, to be honest, I'm like I kind of watch the videos, Stephen. And I think most people do mind. It's like right, copy that right. I love that idea. Oh, I'll do that idea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you keep putting them videos out, lad. Right, let's see if someone can ask young Stephen a question, or if you want, you can ask kind of me a question as well. So that would be nice. What's the plan for tomorrow then, Steve? What time do you normally get up? And you tell us what's happening. I'll see if I can get a question out to someone to pop in.
Well, tomorrow I'm sort of out the door by about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's just starting to get light. Straight down the plot. First off is have a quick walk around, check everything's all right, look for pests, look for problems, um, have a coffee. Are we still there?
Yes,
Looks
yes.
like it's gone a bit funny.
I'm just listening. Are you? I've just seen Nicholas is asking, what are the downfalls of having or is there any downfalls of having like an allotment kind of plot? Anything? I guess, is it too much responsibility, or because it is a big nerving thing? I think, mind you, when you walk past even some of the little ones on our thing and you see it weeds, and then you work all your time to get them cleared off, and then you come back 3 weeks later and there's weeds again, and you just think, ah. And once they get away, do you know what I mean? So are you like that, Steve? Or are you kind of don't get stressed by weeds? Because I get stressed by weeds, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's one of them things where I'm just trying to get rid of that question. I've got my question on there. I gotta get rid of it. I'm just kind of once I see weeds growing, I'm like, oh, just all chewy. Does that bother you or not?
It doesn't, because I mean weeds are got rid of so quickly. I mean, my plot's massive, and those big beds, before I started splitting them up, they were 40 foot by 16 foot, I think. Massive beds. But if you get the weeds when they're young and you hoe them off, it would take me 10 minutes to hoe that bed, and that's between the plants.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Once they get past 3 or 4 inches, the roots are down and it becomes more of a problem. So you just keep on top of them. I mean, there's weeds all over my plots as well, but around the edges in the growing spaces, not much survives. So
Steve's asking, or Barry's asking there, Steve, what's the 5 veg you would grow, or maybe even recommend to kind of people? Do you know?
oh, well, it'd have to be potatoes. That's like a mainstay of most English allotments. I couldn't live without me cabbage, cauliflowers, tomatoes. Oh, I'm struggling because there's
Well,
so many.
you know what I kind of.
Probably carrots.
Aye. What's the celeriac? That's the thing that's kind of. I picked all of it today because it hasn't turned out very well. But what I got, and we've used it tonight, was absolutely gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? It just.
Yeah, it's a lovely veg. It
Aye,
really is.
and it's. I'm sure it was you probably, or someone mentioned it last year. You know what I mean? And I grew it last year, and actually, I got a better crop last year than this year. But man, it's got that flavour that you'd think you wouldn't like it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Is it?
it's a lovely background flavour.
Do you? Because I think, and like I say, I'm not a gardener, man. You know what I mean? I'm not a kind of. I
You
think
are
it's
a
a difficult.
gardener.
I think it's a difficult plant to grow. Would you agree or not? To germinate yourself.
Um, no, it's not a difficult plant to grow, but it requires attention. You've got to give it almost daily attention. Once it's in the ground and growing away, it needs to be kept moist, and you need to pick those leaves off as they bend over, as they start falling away from the bulb.
Hmm.
Pick them off, because once you pick that leaf off, you pick it at the base and you pull it down sharply. It leaves a scar behind. As that plant grows, as you're watering it, that scar expands, and so that's how the bulb forms. So the more you pick off, the bigger your celeriac you
Well,
get.
that's my downfall then this year because I did it last year and I got way bigger ones. But again, because I was thinking, I've left it, and I buried them with like when I was doing like no dig, I put more compost on, and I pulled a little
Yeah,
one. I did a couple of videos ago, and it was just loads of roots, and I was thinking, I've messed that up. Do you know what I mean? But then I seen yours, and yours were just like, it's almost just like a full of strangy roots, and you were
Yeah,
happy with them. So I'm thinking, right, that must be the majority of how they grow. To be honest, like this kind of this beard of roots.
yeah.
No, but I thought, this is just like mine were just like wrecked. Well, what I thought was wrecked, but then I seen that video of yours, and right, so there must be, there must be kind of okay.
Yeah, they just need constant attention. They've got to be kept moist. If they dry out, then they don't like it. So they need wet soil. So if you've got a wet part on your allotment, and most people do have one, like at the bottom of my plot where all the water collects, and
Uh-huh.
that's why I grow it down there, down at the front there. It's
Right.
the wettest part on the plot.
And would that help them? Would it? Is that so you don't have to
Yes,
water them out? Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Anybody else? Ask Stephen, a young Stephen, a question. There we are. What time we're putting this video out then, Steve? Tomorrow.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Yeah.
5 o'clock. So we're both going out. Now I haven't seen Steve's, and I haven't. He hasn't seen mine, but we're going to put them out at 5 o'clock. Right. What's Jed Bouncer saying there? Now let's have a look.
Well, you can't see, man. I haven't made the bloody thing
I.
yet.
I bet you give it. I bet you give it. Oh, another one there, Jay. Thank you very much. Look at that little. That took us
Oh,
get
well
that
done.
to get that graphic going. I was on about 3.5 hours to work all that out. You know what I mean? So, thank you very much, Jade. You are a kind of a star. Right, come on, ask Stephen a question there. Is it going to rain, Stephen, tomorrow? There's a gardener's question. Are we going to have some of the old wet stuff?
I would think so. I'm in Cumbria in the Lake District. No rain, no lakes. And
Uh-huh.
if it's not raining tomorrow, it's about to rain.
Does that cause you? Well, it doesn't, obviously, because I watch your videos. I was going to say, does it sometimes cause you an issue or not? Too much rain?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, some weeks. I mean, like this video you'll see me with in a couple of days after Christmas, digging this blooming pond. You can see the mud I'm working with in that. It's just incredible. But you hack on with it. I have a determination to get. Once I've started something, I'm terrible for starting a job, but once I've started it, then I can crack on and get it done. And that's why quite often you'll see me one day I'll be planting pansies or something, and 2 days later I'll be digging a hole. I've
Uh-huh.
got to start the jobs to get them finished.
There, Paul's asking what's Steve's channel. There you go, and Steve, give your channel a plug, sir.
Green side up. Oh, flipping heck.
Green side up, and it's like mine. It's like taking off, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's kind of.
It's going a bit mad in a minute. I don't know. I don't know quite why, but I'm not complaining. It's doing really well. Really pleased with it.
Right on my bloody heels now. The young. What? Tell us about. Well, let's talk about YouTube then and things like that. What's because you've transitioned from a DSLR camera with like tripod and everything. You've went down my recommendation. How is it like? Say
Yeah.
2 weeks later since. Because at first I guess you liked it because it's easy just to clamp on. But are you finding the GoPro okay or
Oh,
or not?
I'll tell you, it's brilliant. I mean, I think I'll maybe in the new year I'll make a video and show how I was filming and then show how I film now, just so people could see the difference.
Uh-huh.
Because it's night and day with me DSLR on a tripod. It was just a nightmare. And of course, I had that wired mic, so I'd walk away from the camera and pull the bloody thing over because I'm still attached to it. But
Oh,
no,
it's
this new setup is brilliant.
and it's amazing, like what you can, you look at this little thing, and then you've got like a little kind of speaker thing, and you think that's not going to do with the business. Do you know what I mean? And you see all these people on YouTube with these big muckle things, but it's just when we're like gardening and trying to like crank out the videos, you
Yeah.
can't, you know what I mean? And I noticed it when I was building the polytunnel, and I was getting like concrete dust on my camera. This one I'm kind of,
Oh God.
and you're thinking, bloody hell, it's like the money you spend on them, and they're just not right for gardening. You press a GoPro button, you're in focus, you're in
Yeah.
frame, and it works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I've found that I've been using is I've got a spare fork there, and I just plonk it in the ground
Aye.
and clamp my camera on top of it, and I'm ready to go.
I think it's
Dead
that
easy.
that clamp, mind you, is I watched that. I watched some filmmaker said he kind of has that. It's like a little secondary camera when he's using his big one. He says it's so good
Yeah,
just to clamp on. And as soon as I seen that, I went, oh, "That's it! It's got to be that because we've got in the garden so many bits of wood about that thick
yeah,
somewhere where you can just, you know what I mean." And I love with
oh yeah,
with the like with that setup. I love angles, different low ground angles. You know what I mean? So if anyone's watching, get your cameras and get them low instead of just having like
yeah,
static tripod. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
a different kind of view, and it makes it kind of more engaging. I think so. And
Well, that's a good photography.
how you managing editing? Are you finding that's all right with this new taking it off the GoPro and getting it onto your computer and that?
Well, it's a change of procedure, if you like, but it's I'm getting the hang of it now, and I've got a new PC to handle it all as well, and the PC is much faster. Yeah, I know it's not a Mac, but
Well, you know, I mean, it's funny because the son has a huge muckle gaming computer, and there's not apparently these new M1 Macs will handle 5K, but when I'm doing
right,
the 5K, mind you, I've just got to wait till it's uploaded to watch it. I can edit what I think's going to be it, but I can't play it back. It's just, and
right,
yeah, I could bring it in on a proxy. I know we're talking kind of shop here. Bring it in on a
yeah,
proxy file, but that would take 12 hours nearly to bring in like big clips. Do you know what I mean?
wow,
Oh, it would
God,
take forever. I like bring it in as a proxy, and it might be like I say, a 15-minute clip of me digging. I only need 3 seconds. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna grin and bear it with I like that 5K option. And so, have we got any gardening questions? Let's get off. Are you an exponent of right? Terry's asking, Steve. I guess this one's for you. Are you an exponent of the dig or the no dig gardening?
well, both really. I mean, it's funny in recent years. I mean, when I first started gardening, my granddad taught me, and back then you fed the plants and you dug the soil and you put manure in the soil. And things have shifted over the years, and people are saying you don't feed your plants anymore, you feed your soil. Things keep changing. So I use a combination of what works for me. I'm constantly doing trials and tests and things and trying to get things to work for me. If it doesn't work, I'll find another option and try it again. So at the minute, I'm loving no dig. But as you'll see through this next season, most of my flowers and stuff in the back of the allotments, they're all on just soil, and I'll be rotivating that. So it's totally against no dig in that respect. But the front of the plot, all the veg, was no dig. So
And have you noticed, mind you, going on to the no dig that compared to your kind of your flower bed, the dig ones, that it is dampening the weeds down, or at the moment are they still kind of coming up? You know what I mean? You haven't had a few years of kind of layering on, or is it keeping them leveled?
they're still coming. They're still coming through the weeds, but because it's no dig and you just in compost, I mean, you've only got to touch the weed and they come out the soil, and that is brilliant.
Hmm.
I mean, it's so much easier to weed. So those 8 no dig beds I've got there, they don't take long to weed, a couple of hours and they're done.
Hmm. Mine, I noticed, and this is not a kind of, but when I built my raised beds, I deliberately wanted a big walkway. Do you know what I mean? Now I noticed your
Yeah,
raised bed, you're talking probably about 7 inches between them. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Are you regretting that?
Well,
Or
that's a
do
mistake.
you
Yeah,
think?
I am.
I
Yeah, I am. Because when you notice my new sets that I've been building over the last month or so, there's a 2 foot path in between them. Now in my tunnel, I've got those sort of 12-inch pathways between the beds, but that's enough because they're only a short distance to travel along them. They're only 3 foot long. But on those big beds outside with the same distance, I'm having to shuffle down 11 foot down one bed, and it's difficult.
uh-huh.
So what I am going to be doing, not next year, the year after, is I'll take 2 of those beds out and respace then what's left
All
to
right,
leave me with 6.
right. That'll be a big job, mind you, doing that. Do you think for an old fella?
Yeah, I'll do something else after lunch. Yeah,
Because I was going to ask you then, how do you get, like, say, compost down to the bottom end? Have you got to get onto the bed and wheel it down or anything like that, or
Just chuck it with a spade or with a
right?
bucket. You do what's necessary, or even put a wheelbarrow up over the top of the bed.
Because what you're saying there, about 11 foot long, because they look massive long on camera, mind you. Do you know what I mean? So,
They are those ones at the front. They are 13 foot long and about, I think, they're 4 foot wide
right,
at the front.
that's a lot. They're long because I think mine are
Oh,
probably
actually, no, they're longer than that. They're 16 foot long at the front.
are they? Aye.
Yeah,
So you've got like, what is it? Like I say, an 8 inch gap or something? Is it or a bit bigger or?
8, 9, 10 inch, somewhere around there. Yeah,
It's because I think mine are 8 foot, and when I looked at the side, I thought, bloody hell, they're huge beds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And kind of, why did you go down that route then of doing narrow? Did you think you'd be able to manage it, or
Well, yeah, I did because the pathways in the polytunnel worked for me, and they're only 12-inch wide. I thought, well, that'll be enough for me to shuffle down, and it is really. I've managed a season with them, and I could continue to manage with them, but I think in the long run, getting old and all that, and walking stick next,
aye?
I think I'm going to need a bit more space. Put a pound on, need an extra inch of room.
Right, let's see if we've got any more questions there. Have we got anything for Stephen? How long have we been on? Actually, to be honest, have we been
Oh,
36
only half
minutes?
hour.
Who? There's a question because I noticed Terry's saying about Charles Down. What? Who do you admire as YouTube gardeners?
Oh, was YouTube gardeners. Um,
Obviously, the young
well,
lad over on the northeast coast of England's the one that kind of right up there. You know what I mean?
well, I've got 3 or 4 that I watch regularly. The first one, maybe not many people know, is Steve's Seaside Allotments. I watch him an awful
All
lot.
right.
He's a good gardener.
Aye.
Now, I'll be honest, and excuse me, Steve, for saying this, I do find him a little bit droll. Um, but his information and the effort that he puts into his planning is precise, and he's amazing at that. Obviously, there's Charles, and there's yourself, and Sean. And I do watch a couple of others, but in the main, they're the people I watch regularly.
Mhm. I think with me as well, mine, it's a bit like Busman's Holiday. There's only about four again that I kind of watch because I've got other thing. I use YouTube not to kind of watch garden. That is like to watch other, like me other hobby kind of things and
Yeah,
space and stars and technology and all that kind of stuff. So I think Sean, yourself, Charles, and when I first started, mind you, what you say, Steve Seaside Allotments, you know what I mean? And I go there actually, I go to Steve because I'm still subscribed, but I'll go there when
yeah,
I'm kind of need a bit of information on something. He's got that
yeah,
much back history. You can just
yeah,
type in, like say carrots, Seaside Steve, and
yeah. Oh God, yeah. I
so
mean, if you go and have a look at him, if anybody's out there is interested and wants a question answered, go and have a look at his any of his videos and look through his description, because he's got a website as well. Now he's got a database in there that he's
ah,
compiled over the years, and it's free. You can go and download it and use it for yourself.
aye.
Now that's brilliant, because there's not many folk out there doing that sort of a thing. So
I
I
know, I
do
know.
recommend it.
Till I've
And I'm
just
sorry, Steve, for calling you droll.
I've just seen Erica's in. Hello, Erica, and the old fella's just come in as well. There as well, the old boy, Mister Sean James. How you doing, Sean?
Ah, hello, Sean.
So, what else can I get? What, Stephen? Have you got anything that's kind of difficult to grow for you? Honestly, I kind of think there's nothing difficult for you, but there must be something that is kind of you think each year. Bloody hell! Bloody hell!
Well, it can be the strangest things. I mean, let's face it, most gardeners know how to grow tomatoes. But I went through a patch a couple of years ago where I couldn't grow a tomato, and it's the same. Some
Right,
years
so we've
you
got that
don't
for a
get a lettuce.
competition for next year then.
I
So
should
why
have
was
said
that?
melon, shouldn't I?
Why was that then? Tomatoes? What? Because you'd think anyone can kind of bash out a
Well, I
tomato.
think I think I think the case is because you have so much going on that you neglect certain things and you don't realize it until you realize there's a problem and you think, oh, I haven't watered them for a week, or I haven't fed them, or I haven't let them have insects in at them, so they haven't pollinated. I mean, you can get things like dry set with tomatoes where your flowers just fall off if you don't look after them, if you're not maintaining them properly. And this is the problem, really. And it's my problem. I've created it myself by having such a big plot.
Uh-huh.
But things can get neglected. You can become fixated on something else and miss a problem.
Have you ever had with tomatoes, like, say, a common problem, like, say, blossom end rot? Have you ever, like, think, bloody hell,
Oh God, yeah.
I shouldn't have let that happen, and I've had it
Oh
to
yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I mean, we all have those problems. We just don't know where they've come from, and you think, oh bloody hell! And the next thing you know, you're cutting it down and composting it.
uh,
Nobody saw that.
well, I think for me this year, mind you, was with me tomatoes was I don't want to say they're so good, but they kept on snapping the green string I was using, them grafted ones. The weight of the
All
thing
right.
were kept on, and I'm like, one was funny. Do you know what I mean? One was a great video. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I emphasised the nightmarish time. Do you know what I mean? Ah!
yeah,
The second one was like, oh, bloody hell. Then the third, fourth, and fifth one, which I'm thinking, oh, bloody hell's sake, man. You know what I mean? And once you kind of, once a tomato that size falls on concrete, you're kind of thinking,
yeah,
bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? So that's what, again, that was man made as well. That was my problem. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The wrong string, the wrong string. So I'm going for a thinner.
Rope.
I'm going for a thinner paracord this
Right.
year. So I don't know. What can you recommend? Any good string, Stephen, for a gardener? There's a question for you.
Oh, I don't know. I
Plastic.
mean, yeah, plastic. That's probably the best thing, but even then, that cuts into the foliage of plants. Plastic. You want a soft twine, really, but you want something. I mean, I'll show something that next time I'm down the allotment and I'm using it. But I've got a great big bale of this stuff, and I think it's vine for growing vines up. You know,
Right.
when people are growing hops,
Uh huh.
have you ever seen hops growing? They're like 30 foot tall and they hang
Aye.
from strings. I think it's for growing that. It's nearly half a centimeter thick, but it's good stuff.
Right. And that doesn't cut into the tomatoes or anything like that, does it not?
Yeah, it cuts into everything.
Oh, right. It cuts in. Right. 'Cause I thought you were going to say like this is the stuff that doesn't cut in, and you're
I
all
mean, I
right.
think anything you tying it up with string will cut in if you allow it. So
Uh,
it's a case of tying off your plant so that it stands off.
Andrew's saying baler twine. I think, mind you, I didn't suffer from the cutting in because I used. Did you see mine? I had them clips sent over. So
I saw those.
yeah,
Yeah,
so you're not really. Sometimes you can't help but have the plant goes round, but 80% of the time it's just off these clips. So there was no kind of cutting in. It's just the pure weight. Do you know what I mean? Was just shocking for me. Ali's saying
yeah.
she uses rubber coated wire. Oh, never.
All right.
Right, aye. Because then you could be able to kind of reuse that, wouldn't you? Because
Yeah,
that green stuff of mine seems to have disintegrated as well. I think it's I don't know what it was advertised at, but it just hasn't worked at all. So there was a couple of people mentioned this kind of paracord, so getting thin paracord, and they're Sean saying green twine. Now, Sean, that was mine, like green twine. But when you grow,
right.
you know what I mean. When you're growing tomatoes like 3 and 4 pound, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got that problem that overcome.
I mean, I've gone backwards and forwards. I've tied tomato plants up to strings tied to the roof of the polytunnel. I've gone with bamboo frameworks. I've gone with everything, and every year I try something different and something else. And I've not really ever found something that works properly for me.
Oh no, that's the thing is trying to find the golden thing. Stephen's asking there, what's your favourite flower? Because you're a flower man as well. You
Oh,
grew up,
sweet pea,
is it?
sweet pea. Yeah, every time sweet pea. I adore them. They're absolutely gorgeous, and the scent will just knock you off your feet.
Is that because it's a bit like you're kind of pick and come again process,
Yeah,
or
and because they're easy.
Uh-huh. See, I did one, and I got these with the seeds. I think they no, I think I don't know. They were from Sarah Raven, and they might have been actual plug plants. But
Right.
again, I think it was my downfall. I had them in a pot in the front garden. I had this wigwam effect on, and they grew great. Like they really got like thicker than what I thought they would. They're kind of that
Yeah.
thick stem. They're kind of like flat but thick. But then in the
Yeah.
end, the flower wasn't that good. It wasn't prolific. So I don't know what I did wrong there. I don't know because I heard you had to kind of keep on cutting and more come, but there wasn't that many to cut
You
anyways.
you've got to keep, again, it's like celeriac. You've got to keep your eye on them, because if you miss one flower and it goes over and it goes to seed and you don't see it, it will stop that plant,
Aye,
because the plant thinks, oh, I've done my job. I've made seed for next year. I don't need to do anything else. Time to die.
aye. That's probably
And that can happen.
that's probably. Sean's asking what varieties do you grow? Sweet pea.
Oh, sweet peas. I use, if you want to have a look at it, it's a company called Eagle Sweet Peas, and they're an online company. And I found these many years ago when I went to one of these big gardening shows, and I saw their stand and I saw the sweet peas, and I just sort of fell in love with it automatically because I love sweet peas, and I've grown theirs ever since now. And I think last year there was one collection I grew called the Little Collection, and that didn't do very well for me. And I wasn't happy because it wasn't much sense. So this year, this next season, I've gone back to my favourite, and I think it's the Cheshire Collection or the Chester Collection. And God, they're brilliant.
So do
But
you
yeah,
not
Eagle Sweet Peas.
do you not keep your own seeds for, or do you just keep rebuying each year for your flowers?
I should do, but I've done that in the past, and in something like that collection I use, there's about 10 different plants in there. So by the time you've got your seed ready for next
Aye,
year and germination and things, you've gone from 10 colours down to six, and then the next year you're down to three. So I just buy new every year.
aye. I think I'm going to do that mainly with the strawberries after like 3 years. I'm just going to kind of pull them all out and just put
Yeah.
fresh batch in instead of trying to like mess on and then have all these little pots dotted all over. You know what I mean?
I mean, they are easy to germinate, strawberries, but you need the space to grow them on for a couple of years, don't you?
Aye. Matthew's asking there. He sows his just after Christmas. When do you sow yours then?
I've done them.
Oh, they're done already, are they?
Yeah, I'll see when on the carrot video tomorrow. I'll give a quick flash of them, but that's the first sowing. That's my autumn sowing, and I'll do a second sowing probably towards the end of February, start of March. And I like to have a continuation of them. So what I've got in the polytunnel at the minute, I'll put on a couple of teepees at the allotments, and the rest will come home and come on some. I'll grow them at home here, and then the rest that I sow next March will all go on a nice big straight long row, and that'll be for the main crop.
Right.
So I get a
So,
continuation.
so when will these ones that you've got in your polytunnel now? When will these ones flower?
Should be in June,
Right. That's a
and my
long.
my other ones that are sown next year should take over sort of around about start of July. So
Uh,
I'll get a nice continuation of flowers growing through.
right. Come on. Ask the old fella if you want to know some more. We've got the top gardener.
I've got to try, yeah.
Terry's on about Wilco's end of seasons, 10 pence a packet. Is that? I wonder if that's Steve did a vlog on sowing sweet peas. Didn't you watch it, Tony? When was this then? Who's saying that? Oh, did I get it on there? When did you do that then, Steve?
I don't know. Ask Terry. He knows.
That's the thing, mind you, with us, you kind of videos you just forget, and someone will come
Oh
like
yeah,
in the comments, you know what I mean? And I love like it's quite bizarre. Like videos I've made. I mean, Sean be a great one for this. Sean's been bloody doing it for 10 years. God, you know what I mean? Like YouTube even
yeah,
longer, and he'll get comments from I get comments, mind you, from science. If you look on my channel, right at the early thing, I did science fiction. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how
yeah.
long ago I've like. we flew to Paris and interviewed a writer, Michael Moorcock. So I still get questions like pop up in me feed, like, why didn't you ask Mr. Moorcock this question? And thinking, man, I'm shifting cow shit, man, horse shit now, man. You know what I mean? So
Oh dear.
Jade's asking me there, how's me chilies? And there's a good point because I'll keep these ones just here are me kind of ones for another video, but I've got mine are kind of coming along there now. Everything's going all right. Do you do chilies, Steve, or not? Or
I have done in the past. I haven't bothered for a couple of years because the missus gets an upset stomach with him now, so I don't bother.
right? So I was going to. That's a good lead-on question then, because you must just. I was going to try and get Sean on as well there. You know what I mean? But
Excuse me.
do you? I guess you make everything then. Being an ex-cook, you use all your
Chef,
produce. Ex-chef, cook.
chef,
Short order cook.
chef, chef.
So you,
A cook takes things out of a packet and warms them up. A chef makes them.
oh, there we go. So what's your favourite vegetable plant then to make a meal? Don't say potatoes then. What are you mash?
That would be something like a stir fry then. A nice mix of, like I've been doing in my greenhouse recently, a nice mix of lettuce leaves or mustards or brassicas, something like that, because it's so easy to cook, so quick. You've got to keep all the vitamins in there. Easy to cook, £1 wonder.
Aye. Well, I never go down that route, mind you, of like thinking, right, well, that'll be a great. But I do think when we were talking about before that celeriac, that's been something of something I've never grown before. I couldn't even pronounce it when I first started last year.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what I mean? It's like, I can't even remember now, though, what I was calling it. That's the thing. It's now been ingrained to get it right. I can't remember
Well,
what I
there you
was
go.
bloody calling it, but that's a veg there now that I'll kind of try and keep on pushing out and pushing out all the time.
Yeah. The thing is, just keep trying it. Try it. You might grow 12 plants next year, Tony. Try 6 in one bed and 6 in another and see which works.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Just test.
I
Never give up.
I think that's a great tip for anybody, is to kind of like populate your garden with the same things but in different areas, because you
Yeah.
never know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think with me with the garlic, this was it this year. You know what I mean? Some of them had that kind of white rot, and some in a different bed didn't, and it's just like the look of the gods. You know what I mean? So
Plus, you've also got that thing that if you've got a particular veg, let's say you've got 4 or 5 rows of carrots and you get a pest there in the first row, if you've got half those carrots somewhere else, they're less likely to get attacked as well. So,
are you do you ever get hit with like big pests, Steve? Or
I had a bull come through the plot last week. Is that what you mean?
I'm grumbling about cutworms,
I've never had them actually. I've never seen one before.
right?
But yeah, we get all the normal pests. We get plenty of caterpillars, and I've had flea beetle this autumn in the polytunnel. That they attack me Chinese cabbage. The first blinking time I've been able to grow them to a decent size, and then they get hammered by flea beetle. So that's new, and that's something else I've got to deal with. But
Izzy's asking
worms
there,
have never.
Steve. Izzy's asking there. Is there a reason you're caging your no-dig beds? She's wondering if she's missing a trick there.
Oh, she is. Yeah, definitely. I'm not telling.
What do you mean? Are you on about your caging when you're putting your your plastic polytunnel things on them? Is that what you're on? Is that what?
Oh, that's in my latest video from yesterday, which you obviously haven't seen yet.
No, no, night shift, lad. Night shift. We've got to just keep
All
on.
right.
I'm in. Well, actually, I'm off
Well,
now. It's like a torrent of night shifts, so that's all right now. But
well,
what's this then? Explain.
a few weeks ago in a video, as I was said that I told people when I was building these these new no dig beds that I had this sort of groundbreaking or revolutionary for me, game changing, I think I called it, way of growing something, and I've put these beds together so that they're in pairs. And what I'm actually doing is putting a cage around them so that I can protect around this cage to protect against pests. But that's all I have said at the moment. I'm keeping the rest under me under my beer mat until I actually do it, because it's easier to show than it is to explain.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's game changing. It certainly will be for me, and it sort of tags on to that thing of me that I like to. If I'm going to make something, I want it multi-use. I want it to perform in one way one day and then perform another way another day. So I've put some thought into this, and hopefully it will pay dividends for me. I think it will, and I think it might even catch on, but we'll see.
Sean's asking how you growing your sweet peas.
Well, at the moment, I've planted them, I've sown them, and they're growing up and getting light. How does he mean? How am I growing them?
Is he
Grow.
saying in pots or tubes or just sow seeds?
Ah, right. Well, at this time of the year in autumn, I've put them into some reasonable polypot packs. They're like a plastic bag designed for growing in. So they're a decent size. They're probably a good 4-inch pot. Now, the reason for that is because I sowed them in September and they're going to sit in those pots for about 4 or 5 months. So I wanted a reasonable amount of compost in there to feed those young plants. Now, conversely, when I plant them in March, they're only going to be in the pots for 4 to 6 weeks before they're out in the ground. I'll grow them in root trainers then. They'll grow quick. The roots will come out the bottom. They won't need so much compost or feed in them because they're going out in the ground quick. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I've just missed that one. Pat's just asked there, Steve, I don't know if you can see it there. Her soil, or his soil, I think her, is extremely sandy, pure sand, 15 inches down. Is there an advantage in raised beds? Well, I guess yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi.
go no dig.
Uh-huh. God,
Go
sand
no dig.
15. Are you on the beach? we put a brolly there in a deck chair. If it was like that, really hell, you know what I mean? Well, I think it can because a raised bed, you can just control the soil way easier.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And even if you do, and that, to be honest, whether I can be bothered or not, that garlic white rot, you know, it's I could quite easily, if I wanted to be bothered, dig it out and put fresh in, and then that whole
yeah.
area's cleaned
You
up.
could,
You know what I mean? So whether I would do that, you know what I mean, or not, that's a different thing. So what's
it all
what's
should.
your poison, Stephen? You're drinking there, lad? What's
This one is some lager. I think it's a Peroni. I
right?
mean,
I thought you might have been like a Jennings man. You know what I mean? Is it Jennings up there?
oh,
It is. Isn't it?
oh yeah, it's here. I do like that. They do a nice one called Golden, which is lovely. But I don't know. This was in the cupboard, so I'm drinking it.
Because I heard. Because, like you say, we used to go to the lakes quite a bit, you know, before lockdown and that. And didn't Jennings totally like revamp the names and just come out with like just bizarre kiddified names for like the long time standing beers? Is that right?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I should have took more notice, really. But I've been there and done a tour around there with my dad. I took my dad around. Dad came up here, and I took him around for a tour around the place. But I was more interested in looking at a massive vats of beer.
Well, I'm sure they've got like it's like they've got just such strange names now for like their generic kind of beers that they've had for years. They've changed it loads.
Oh, to be honest with you, I haven't seen what they're called now. To be honest, I was trying to
Parmesan.
butter everybody up. I was trying to butter everybody up because I wanted to get the used hops from them for my compost heap.
Aye, aye. Wait, did they give that away? Do they, Steve, or not? Or
You have to apply to. There's an umbrella organisation or company that owns Jennings, and you have to apply through them. But apparently, they will release them to gardeners. Yeah,
right? Oh, that's right. And would that be good stuff? Would it, or is it just
yeah,
a
a good nitrogen feed. Yeah.
right? Right. There you go. There you go. Come on in if you want. Ask. I mean, we've been on a while there now. Audrey, there we go. Audrey's saying, any tips for starting and growing parsnips? Well, I mean, mine are just fantastic this year. I'm chuffed a bit, to be honest. That mine have went like fine. I did thin them out Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the lesson learned from your carrots.
I was going to say that's the bed you should have put your carrots in.
I know, I know. What have you got any tips for parsnips then, Sean?
You
Sean,
talking to
call
me
me
or Sean?
Sean. I know I'm calling you Sean. That's stronger than what it looks. Have you got any tips for the parsnips then? Aye, Sean.
um, well, I mean, I'll be showing some parsnips tomorrow. The best thing I can say is to watch the video tomorrow at 5 o'clock, because I'll be showing some parsnips that I sowed in July, I think it was,
All
this
right,
year.
that's even later than me because mine were late. What I presumed was late this time, but
Yeah.
that's really I would have thought really late.
But I know a lot of plot holders on our site in sort of February, they're twitching because they want to get their parsnips sown. And a lot of people wait till April. So you've got such a variance in that. And I was thinking about this earlier in the year, and I'd missed this window for sowing them. And it came to July and I didn't have any. And I thought, went on to Premier Seeds, ordered a packet of parsnips, and I sowed them. And I know some of the subscribers remember it, but I've got some that I'm going to pull up tomorrow. They're
Right.
not brilliant, they're not massive, but I've got some that I'm going to pull. I don't even know what they're like myself, but
Here's
sown in
a
July.
here's a final question then, Steve. Just we'll kind of wrap it up there. Now we've been on for a while there. What's your thoughts on crop rotation? Because I'm thinking there now. I've seen a few videos that are kind of are dismissing it, and it's not worth the kind of hassle, and especially like Charles Downing's a kind of great exponent of it. And I'm thinking I might just put my parsnips in the same bed because I've had success. What's your thought on crop rotation?
Well, it's one of these difficult things because I've been brought up to rotate my crops, and for the reasons that pests do build up. Now, I've seen those videos too, and I don't question them. I don't question these guys' logics because I know these people are good gardeners. But my thought is, if I can rotate the crops, why wouldn't I do it? Knowing what I know already. So let's take an example. Say that we had a pest that only attacked tomatoes. But if I move the tomatoes next year and the pest stays in the bed from the previous year, my tomatoes are going to be all right. So if I can rotate my crops, why wouldn't I?
Hmm.
It's not going to harm me as long as I can do it.
But
I don't. I'm not
what's your
fixated
kind
on
of
it.
what's your kind of reason, like your thoughts, if you've had a good crop in the same in that one bed, why move it to another bed that you might not get a decent crop from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do. It's like with my sweet corn. You know where on my plot I grew my sweet corn this year. You'll have seen it. Next year, sweet corn will go in there, but
Uh-huh.
there's not many pests that affect that. And as sweet corn is a grass, it's not really part of your crop rotation anyway. So, but I do feel that from a point of view of the way you feed the soil, the way you feed the beds. I mean, for instance, you follow brassicas or peas on from potatoes after you've heavily manured the soil for the potatoes. So the next year, those plants get the benefit of what's left over from that manure. So in that respect, it works. But it's a personal choice. And as I've always said, I always bang on about this. If you're not sure, test, try it for yourself, because you'll get far more doing it for yourself than you will from me telling you or from reading it from a book or from a magazine.
Do you
You draw your own conclusions.
do you find maybe some of these kind of these young pretenders coming up with these quirky ideas don't fit right for you, or do you kind of embrace it all?
No, I take absolutely no notice of them whatsoever. No, no, you have to take these things on board. You have to trust in that people have tried them, or that they've come up with a reasoned idea or a thought. Take them on board and let your mind work with them. I've got sources all over the place. I read magazines, I look on YouTube, I look on the internet, I talk to other gardeners like yourself or down at the allotments, and you take these things on board, you swallow the information, and then you form your own conclusions and then try. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm always got like 16 tests running at any one time. and I just find out for myself that way and draw my own conclusions.
Well, Steve, it's been an honour to have you on, sir. Thank you so much. I'll let you get back to watching Gardener's World.
Thanks for having us on, Tony.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's been lovely. Yes, and 5 o'clock we're putting out the videos, everyone. So I'll say
Yeah.
goodbye to Steve. I'll stay on for a few minutes and just finish off me drink. But Steve, it's been
Right.
lovely having you on, lad. Look after yourself.
All
Take
right,
care.
Tyler. Thanks very much. See you all.
Take care.
Take care now.
There we go. Isn't that nice to have the old fella on there? So hopefully Steve might jump back in the chat to answer any questions if he's kind of missed anything. So there you go. What do you think then? The final video of the carrot challenge is that wine's actually quite strong. Is tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and then it's Christmas time. So I'm not kind of sure what's happening. I know I'm working kind of off today, off tomorrow. Then I'm in for 5 days from 2 till 10. So yes, no Christmas dinner for me this year, man. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll put some stuff out certainly. We'll do some more lives. This is dead easy there now. I've got it kind of set up where I can just bring in certain bits of equipment and it's all kind of fancy and that. So hopefully there'll be no more kind of rain, snow and everything. Everything's going good. Have you enjoyed it? Let us know. Don't forget, if you want to quickly super chat, I've got a fancy little icon there. Big thank you to the 2 people that did. That's lovely. It all goes to help the channel. Thank you very much. And buys the drink. There you go. Ah, man. This is my weekend. Actually, I really... It does look like a strawberry, doesn't it? Someone mentioned that the other day. Yes, I'm going to leave that there. So... Chilies are all doing well. Everything's doing well there. So that's it. I hope you have had a fab time where it's kind of... I know London's in a kind of worse state now. They're down the south, pretty worse than us. So hopefully I can put out a couple of videos to keep you going. So if you've enjoyed it, big thank you. Matthew's asking for a finish with a song. I've got no songs or anything, but I've got a little bit of confetti and a bit of applause. Yeah, well done. Great show. Yes. So listen, look after yourselves, everybody. Take good care, and I will see yous around sometime. Look after yourselves. Take care.